I'm Andrew Sheridan, and this is the Great British Chef's Signature Series. One of the reasons I became a chef is because my mum was such a bad cook. My mum's idea of baking a cake used to be buy a cake mix from Asda, and we used to chuck it all in a bowl and follow the ingredients in the back. I can remember my first ever week in the kitchen. It was like my mum on bloody steroids. Try and do 15 things at once and you've got to be set by 12 o'clock or you're going to get your butt kicked. It wasn't long until I started to realise that, do you know what, I can be really, really good at this if I put my mind to it. So the dish that I'm about to cook is called the 8th to the 10th 2006, and it is my version of lemon drizzle cake. The reason that we call the dish that is because on the 8th to the 10th 2006 I became a chef, and one of the first things that I ever learned in the kitchen was a lemon drizzle cake. So in here we've just got our sugar, so we're going to add our eggs to the sugar. We're just going to give that a nice stir, and we just want to whisk that until it starts to thicken up and it goes nice white and fluffy. You can use a mixing bowl if you want as well, an electric one, that's absolutely fine. What we're going to do now is our butter, we're just going to pour that in as well. So that's our melted butter in there. So you'll see just started to emulsify that mix. In here we've got the juice of 2 lemons. So we're just going to add that as well. Give that a nice little whisk. For me, lemon drizzle is one of my favourite desserts. We've always got some form of cake on, which is the pre-dessert before the main dessert innate. The reason we do that is because it's very nostalgic. I think people can relate to it as well. And I think if people can relate to it, they feel a lot more comfortable when they're eating it. And I think if you can do something a little bit special with it as well, it has a lot more impact than 300 elements on a plate and a bit of crumble that nobody even knows what they're eating. So we're just going to add the zest of them 2 lemons as well. We're just going to give that a nice little whisk. And then in here, we've got some double cream. We're now just going to add our flour and our bicarb too. It's a very light batter almost that you're making. I always as well, whenever I used to bake a cake at home with my nan or my mum, I always used to try the cake mix to make sure it had enough sugar in it. So I'll just give that enough taste. So it can taste if there's enough lemon in it, which there is, that's fine. We've added that, so now we've got our batter. So what we do with our batter is after that, we just put that into the fridge for a little bit. And once it's been in the fridge, we then just transfer it to a piping bag. As you can see, I've got these molds, these like cannelli molds, and you can use any mold. You can use a mini loaf tin, you can use a ring, you can make a proper lemon drizzle cake, but we like to do it a little bit different in the restaurant. So what I'd suggest is buy yourself a little bit of grease wax spray. Just give the molds a nice little spray as well, just so the lemon drizzle cake doesn't stick. You could use anything, you could use butter if you wanted, you could use oil, it'd be absolutely fine. Take your piping bag with your lemon drizzle mix that we made. When you fill in the molds, fill them about halfway up. Fill them halfway up because otherwise they overflow and they all come out the top. Pop that in the oven for 16 minutes I do if we're doing them this size. And then we take them out the mould and then we put them back in the oven for an extra 3 minutes just so the outside goes that nice golden crispy. Okay, so next for the lemon drizzles, they've gone into the oven now, so they're baking 16 minutes away. So we're gonna make a nice little lemon butterscotch. So in this pan, we've just got a little bit of water. We're gonna add again a little bit of caster sugar to that and just pop that on the middle of the stove. So we're gonna turn the heat up relatively high on that. So you can see that the sugar is starting to really, really bubble down now. So in the pan now, I've just brought that to a caramel. I've added my butter to it. And now in here as well, I've also got the juice of 2 lemons. So just give that a nice little stir. So once that's cooled down, this is what it will look like out the fridge. It's a nice little lemon butterscotch toffee sauce. So you just leave that over the side for a second. I'm going to show you how to make the marmalade to go with the dish. What we're going to do is I'll get 3 or 4, go 3 lemons in a pan. All I'm going to do is top the pan up with water. Now what you want to do is you want to just bring them up to the boil and leave them on the stove for about 2 hours or so. And what happens after 2 hours, you end up with these really, really, really soft lemons. I just want to show you the inside. So you see how them lemons are really, really soft. Sugar goes into a pan, separate pan again. Use your water from your lemons. That goes in there as well. And we're just going to pop that on the stove over there. And we're just going to let that boil away. Now the key to it is, you're basically going to get your lemons, you're going to cut them into a quarter. And then you're going to use the back of your spoon and you're going to scrape all the white pith out the back of the lemon. And you're going to carry on this process with all the lemons now. Once you've done that, just get your knife, just give them a nice little slice. And then they are going to get popped in to your water as well. So all the pith and everything that's left over, the seeds, if you haven't got muslin, use a little bit of J-cloth like this, wrap it all up and just pop that in with your sugar, water and your lemon rind on the stove. And I'll leave that on for about 2 hours. Now, after that's been on the stove and after you've used all your rinds, your lemons, you'll end up with this lovely lemon marmalade. Once your cakes are done, this is what they will come out of the mould like. So what we're going to do is, with your lovely lemon butterscotch, all I want you to do now is just brush your cakes as soon as they come out of the oven. So don't be shy with it. Pour it over. Brush all the way around the cake. So get your nice cakes. One on there. And one on there. And then we serve that with a nice piece of clotted cream. In here, I've just got a little bit of rapeseed oil, and the rapeseed oil has been infused with some lemons. And then in the bowl, lemon marmalade. So here we are. This is our lemon drizzle cake with clotted cream, lemon oil, and lemon marmalade.